Okay.
Okay, thanks. We're here with Rhonda Furin, who is running for governor. Rhonda, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your campaign.
Okay, well, my name is Rhonda Furin, and I actually initially ran for Congress back in March of 2020. That was my ambition, to represent District 45. And I came out, pretty strong at wanting to get to Washington, D.C. to help implement changes that needed to be done there to bring back here. And when I found out that my campaign was being interfered with and all kinds of voting irregularity happened, I decided at that point, even after I proved that there was voter fraud, that I would help with recall Gavin. So I came out back in March of 2020 after the primary and started to volunteer for that entire year to get the signatures for recall. We actually had those signatures needed for that recall by August of 2020, in which I filed my first filing fee, because the election probably should have been in November of 2020. And at that point, they all of a sudden signatures ended up missing. My filing fee was mailed back because the Secretary of State lost my check. And I've been continuing trying to, well, we got the extension for recall, so that actually came through. But I have actually filed with the Secretary of State 3 times to get my name on the ballot, in which the day that I was leaving for Dubai about a month ago, I get a notice that says I did not qualify. After 3 attempts and losing 2 checks, I, at that point, retained an attorney on my way out of town, sued the Secretary of State, and within 2 days, I was verified that I was going to be on the ballot. So I was in education for 40 years, and I was recruited by the state of California to teach here and produce future generations that were educationally sound. And when I realized that our education system in this state is the biggest fraud establishment, I decided that I need to just keep going at this and do some type of education reform within the first year of my win here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What would you say is that the biggest issue that's of concern to you, is the state of the education system in California?
Well, you know what? I really feel that education opens the door to every other opportunity. And I'm not just talking about K through 12 education. I'm talking about vocational training. I'm talking about being educated about voting. I'm being about educated on taxes, on accountability. Just being educated through a public school is not enough. You need to really know what you're voting for when you vote. You really need to be able to read between the lines. You really need to understand, some type of trade, because they're not educating that many of the kids nowadays are not learning how to read and write. So we need to look out for ourselves in all aspects of education. I really feel education is the kicking point that's getting our state into this socialism route, and we have to prevent that. That can't happen, because as I look around and I go places, I see more and more tent cities, and basically the state has turned into one big tent state. And the only thing that will prevent that is, educating our people and getting them out there to vote on the issues that matter the most, and preparing our next generations. I don't even have children, but it's very important to me that we leave a legacy for children and grandchildren in which to prosper and provide something to society, and it's not happening.
Yeah, homelessness is certainly a problem in the state, as well as crime. We've seen crime really spike over the last couple of years, especially in the cities. And maybe you could tell me a little bit about what you're from Anaheim, so you're in a big city. Can you tell me a little bit about what you would do as governor to address the crime problem? Sorry.
Well, I just got back from Dubai, and I went there because I was interested in their law and order, and I was interested in how they went from a desert into this booming city and country within 50 years. And I also wanted to see how they have a shortage of water, and all of a sudden they're overabundant with using their ocean water. So, their law and order is basically no second chances. Okay, if you come into their country and you have, speeding tickets that exceed 45,000 dirhams, they will not let you leave the country until you pay that fine. Okay, here in California, if you break a law, they release you, and the fine comes therefore after. We don't release and think people are going to come back and pay the fine or show up in court, because that just doesn't happen. There are crimes that I really feel should have no second chances, and that's crimes against women and children. I was really upset when I saw, a sexual assault on a 6-month-old infant, and the penalty was a $1,500 fine, and the person was released back into society. To me, that's not okay. I also feel that we should not go around talking about defunding our police stations, and our police, our law enforcement are cutting back on that. I was actually at church a couple weeks ago, in which an officer from Long Beach came up to me in church, and he knew I was running for governor, and he started talking about the ramifications of PC 666 and PC 487. And that was the one that changed, in order for it to be a felony, it had to be $950 value. So now you have all these people going in and stealing, $950 or less, it ending up with hardly no consequences. I know you just mentioned, I'm in Anaheim. Yeah, and I am in Anaheim. I'm actually in Anaheim Hills. I went to my local AT&T just down the street yesterday, and was surprised to see that the store was emptied of all the iPhones, and all these things were missing. And I said, I'm in here every month. And I said, what happened? And they said within the last month, they were held up at gunpoint and robbed of all their iPhones, which were on display and in the back in stock. I mean, when have you ever heard things like this happen? It's just, the crime has just increased. I mean, this was pretty bold to come in there with a gun, and actually it was in the morning. They said it happened like at 10:30 in the morning.
Wow, in Anaheim yet?
Anaheim, yeah, Anaheim Hills.
That's something.
Good.
Yeah. So switching gears a little bit, another big problem the state is facing is just the fact that there seems to be a big migration of employers out of the state. And I'm wondering if you have a view on that, and if that's a problem, and what you as governor would do to reverse that.
Well, yeah, we have a problem with that, because the companies that are making money are leaving. And we need to, get rid of the regulations that they have, and the rent control on some of these places, so that they're able to stay here. And we also have a problem where some of the businesses are hiring illegals, and we really need to find those people that are hiring those people at a less cost. I know a few businesses that hire. I'll tell you a story. I mean, I have lots of stories to tell you. There's a story about, I know some car washes that hire illegals on a cash basis. And let's say, like the last couple of days, it's been kind of cloudy. So maybe perhaps people haven't been going in and getting their cars washed on cloudy days, or when it's drizzly. Those people are paid for only the hours that the cars are coming in and getting washed. And let's say they're there for 12 hours during the day, and only 8 hours were, day times or hours that people could get their car washed. They're there for 12 hours, but get paid for 8. And we have to clamp down on people hiring those kind of people. We need to bring people back here with incentives to have businesses flourish here, cutting taxes on small businesses. Small businesses are the backbone. And, I talk a lot about what their concerns and issues are. And a lot of them say it's rent. It's the older shopping centers. It's the added fees where, all of a sudden they need security. Their doors don't lock properly. They need to realign the doors. There's not enough parking. The parking's inadequate. And so we really need to take care of our people that are staying here and putting checks into other people's hands
Yep, got it.
with taxes. And in the other words, it's such a, and as far as taxes, I think we just need one flat tax. We get rid of all these additional taxes that are out there. We just have one flat straight tax and that's it. And you get rid of all these other taxes and we're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one last question, Rhonda. If somebody wants to help support your campaign, how do they get a hold of you and how do they help?
Well, I have a website. It's Rhonda Furin, RHONDAFURIN.com. I also opened up a foundation in which if they want to, help volunteer for that is rhondafurin.org. And that one, it holds our government responsible and accountable for their overreach and their control, such as the, big mandate that's come out where vaccinations and masks are required. And I'm not exactly sure where they're taking that, but you don't control us by telling us that you have these mandates on us like Gavin Newsom's been doing to us for a long time.
All right. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I'm on my cell phone, but we'll do what we can do.
All righty.
Thanks for accommodating.